my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. Here I live with my husband and our 3 sons. And this is my little corner of the internet where I talk all about knitting. I love knitting and I hope you love knitting too, and that you want to spend some time with me while I talk about my FOs, my works in progress, and so on. So you are so welcome if you have been here before, and welcome if you are here for the first time. I'm so grateful that you want to spend some of your precious time together with me. I have information about everything I talk about in the description box below this episode, and as I always have, I will have timestamps on this episode for you. Yes, let's just get started with FOs. In my last episode, in the plans section, I told you that I wanted to use up some hand-dyed mohair scraps that I had, and I have done so, and it's what I'm wearing. So happy with how this turned out. I have used scraps from hand-dyed mohair, as I said, together with a ball of mohair from Søstrene Grene in a light pink color, and I've held this together with a strand of Sandnes Garn Mini Alpaca in the color 1012 Nature White. And yes, I can just show you how it looks and tell you that on the top here I have used some surrey that I had left over. It's from Through the Wardrobe Yarn. Down here it's Christmas surprise mohair that I got from Garnbutikken Fortuna. All of these are Norwegian hand dyers. There is also a mohair from Unique Garn. There is some hand-dyed mohair from Verbit, and also hand-dyed yarn that I have dyed myself. Yes, so I just love how this turned out. You never really know when you use scraps how will it look, and I was thinking very much about how do I want to blend them to make it look nice and everything, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And it was a really great pattern. I think it's such a fun top, and it's like you knit what's it called in English? A round yoke. So you increase around for a while, and then you go over to doing raglan, which is a fit that I really love. So doing a round yoke in the beginning and then switching to a raglan increase, I think is a very nice fit. And I love the arms or the sleeves. It's really fun. You pick up for sleeves here, so it's like a dropped shoulder, and then you pick up stitches, and when you come almost right away you increase a lot for the sleeve, and you get this like flowy sleeve. I don't know what you call this in English, but it's really fun. So it gets kind of, yeah, poofy. Yeah. So I wasn't sure if I was going to like that, but I really do. I think they are really fun, and it's really comfortable to wear. And I really like how it looks. The only thing that I don't like is that I feel like the neckline is too open for me. It looks okay when I see myself here in the screen. I think it looks okay, but I just go and pick up this all the time because I feel like it's falling down. That's the only thing. I did thread in some thin elastic in the neckline, but I don't feel like it really helped much. But oh well, that's the only thing. Otherwise, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And it weighs 390 grams. Did I say? No, I didn't. I have knitted the size small on needles 3 and 3.5 millimeters, which is US 2.5 and 4. Yes. My next FO is almost done. All the knitting is done. I finished it yesterday, and I really wanted to just wash it and lay it flat to dry. So it's not all dried yet, but that's okay. It's here. It's this beautiful jacket called Anneli Cardigan. And it's still missing buttons, but that's okay. I will find some nice buttons. This is the Anneli Cardigan by Sanne Bjerregård, also a free pattern on Filcolana. They have a lot of beautiful free patterns there, so I highly recommend you take a look. I think most of them are also translated to English. This is knitted in Senta by Permin, which is a 50% wool, 30% silk and 20% nylon blend, and it's just magical. I really love the fabric, how it turned out. I didn't really enjoy knitting with it. It felt really dry to knit with, but the fabric is just amazing, and I really want to knit more things in this yarn, even though it was tough to knit with. That's okay, because it's so worth it, because it's just, it gets such a thin, nice fabric. So really, really happy with this cardigan. It's just what I wanted. Thin, lightweight jacket or a cardigan that I can have over summer dresses, and yeah, just perfect. I haven't written up what color this is, but it is on my Ravelry page. So, and I link that below, as I always do. I have knitted the size small on needles 2 and 3 millimeter needles, US 1.5 and 2.5. So small needles, so it felt like it took a long time to finish this. But I really, really wanted this jacket now. So I have, when I was done with this was so much fun to knit. So I just wanted to knit on this all the time. So this went by really fast. But when I was done with this, I was just wanted to finish this. So yeah, I just decided to have this as my main project for a while, and then here it is finally. It felt like it took forever. It probably didn't, but it felt like it. What can I say about this? I really like how the raglan increases are. You do it with yarn overs and you get this beautiful structure, whole pattern. And otherwise it's a very straightforward pattern. I'm not sure if I'm really happy with how the button, what's the name of this, button band, of course, how it turned out. I'm not happy with my pickup down here, but it's okay. It's homemade, that's what counts. So it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. Otherwise, I'm really happy. I did struggle with the pickup here. I think maybe because in the original pattern, you're supposed to use, I think, Filcolana Pernilla for the cardigan, but for the neckband, the button band, and the ribbings, you're supposed to using 3 strands of Tilia, Filcolana Tilia, which is a mohair silk blend. So maybe that would be different to work with, and that was why I struggled a bit to get the right how to say pickup rate here to make it okay. I don't know, but it turned out okay in the end. I used a lot of time on this button band just because I didn't get the right amount of stitches, and yeah, took some time, but now it's done. It just needs some beautiful buttons, maybe some mother of pearl buttons, we'll see. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I can't wait to use it. It weighs 244 grams if you are interested. Knitting podcasters here in Norway have gone together to start a relay called Lappestafetten, which means that knitting podcasters all over the country design a square, and every month is a new square from a different knitting podcaster, and there's prizes and everything, so it's a lot of fun. I am going to design a square as well, but right now this month is a square from a lady called Brit Strickenard. She also have a podcast in English. So if you go, I can link her podcast below, because she podcasts also in English, in Norwegian and in English. So that's good. But she is the designer of this month's square called En blomstertid nu kommer. Very beautiful pattern, and her, like I said, her square is called Den blomstertid nu kommer. In English, that is the flower time is now coming. Sounds really strange in English. Flower time is now coming. Yes, really beautiful pattern. So that is square number 3. I'm going to make a blanket. This is knitted in Rauma Finull in color, I have to, color 458, green. It weighs 19.4 grams, and I have knitted on 3.5mm needles. And isn't that US 4? I might be mistaken because I haven't written that down yet. 4. So now I have 3 squares for my blanket. So I'm thinking about starting to sewing them together, and I am just knitting in different colors. It's for fun. It will be a strange, colorful blanket. I have 3 active projects on the needles. One is new, the other ones I have shown you before. But I also have a couple of blankets, but they are now taking a rest, waiting for new scraps to be accumulated. But I can start by talking a bit about my Lapis by Yamagara, which was not in that bag. Here it is, I think, in my owl bag. This is a saga. Yes, quite the story. If you have been here before, you heard parts of it before. I've knitted the Lapis before, So I was very confident, and when I cast on, just using the same needles as last time, the same size and everything, but I felt that it turned out just too big. I knitted for a while on it, and then I gave up because I felt it was going to be too big. And then I decided to try, I'm knitting the size 1, so it's the first size, so I hadn't anything else to go down to. So I decided to do some math and try to find out if I could remove some bits of the chart. But it just turned out to be, after a while knitting on these things that I have calculated, it didn't work out. So I ripped that back. And then I started again. I decided to knit size 1 as it was written, and on 2mm needles, which is US 0, I believe. So it's like sewing needles, very thin. And that is what I've done. Yes. I'm knitting the size 1, as I said, in beautiful yarn from a Norwegian hand dyer called Hettestrikk. And these 2 colors. This is her soft sock base. It's called Havlandet, really beautiful. This is her silver sock base, called Multivika. So in English, this is Sealand, and this is Mullet Bay. Beautiful colors. So when I was knitting on this, you start with a provisional cast on, and then you knit the chevron pattern for a while. Then you split for front and back, and then you sew it together on top, or do a 3 needle bind off on the shoulders. When I was knitting before I started the front and the back, I felt like it was big. It looked too big again, but I was like, oh well, I don't know what else to do. But when I did the 3 needle bind off, however, the story is a different. Anyway, this is how it looks, and it's not too big. It's almost, it's not too small, it's just that it's smaller than my other one. So something is happening when you do when you gather the work and you do the 3 needle bind off. It's just like it cinches in a bit. So maybe I should have just knitted the first one I started on with the 3mm needles and just do what I did last time. Maybe it would work out, I don't know. But it do fits me, and I'm not going to do anything else with this now. Knitting on 2mm needles takes forever. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. But it looks really beautiful, I think. So now I'm just going to knit a really long ribbing down here. I don't think it's supposed to be really long, but I like to have it long. I think that looks really nice. So I'm going to knit a long ribbing. We'll see how long. Yeah, I think it will be good. It could be bigger, but it's okay. Yes. So that is just the highway right now with the ribbing. That will be fun. I'm ready to have this finished now, really am. But I think it will be good to have in my wardrobe. So that's the Lapis by Yamagara. My next sweater, if you've been here before, you've seen it before too. It's the sweater for my husband, who wants a fancy yarn sweater, which just means he wants a sweater in hand-dyed yarn, which I think is so fun. I'm just knitting the Flax sweater by Tinka Knits. They have it's free on Ravelry, and they have the pattern in different yarn thicknesses. Is that right to say? So fingering weight, the DK weight, I think is also a thicker one. I'm doing the fingering weight and this beautiful yarn. This yarn is from Amatha Yarns, also a Norwegian hand dyer, in the color Ivy. And this is just a very easy raglan sweater. And the thing here is that you have the garter stitch on the sleeves, all the way down the sleeves. Otherwise, it's really simple. Not the funnest knit, I have to admit. But we tried it on yesterday, and it's only about 10 centimeters to go on the body, which is great. And this is a sock yarn, a merino and nylon. So I think it will grow a bit when I wash it. So I'm not going to do all the 10 centimeters, I think. And just wash it, block it, see how it turns out in the length. And if I have to knit a little bit longer, I will just do an easy bind off, so it's easy to pick up if I need to knit more. Yes, so no Italian bind off for him. Yes, so I'm working on this. It's not, like I said, not so much fun, but it's for my husband, so it's worth it, I think. He always wears and loves my sweaters, so that's great. The last thing I have on my needles is a new cast on. It's another Amatha summer top. It's from a Norwegian designer called Karianne Holhjem Schirmer. She's more known as Mamma Laget. And I've knitted one of these before. I knitted one in May in a really bright green, which I love, so I wanted another one. This one I am knitting in yarn from Hettestrikk, the same dyer as the yarn that is in my Lapis. And these two are two different colors because she only had one skein of each. So I am just trying to knit them together. We'll see how that will be. And I can show you the project. It just has this beautiful structure on the sleeves. Oh, focusing. Yes. So I'm done with the fun part. And now it's just stockinette. Yes, so I am knitting the size 3. I'm knitting on 3 and 3.5 millimeter needles, US 2.5 and 4. I have gone down half a size from what I was knitting last time. I was knitting the size 3, but on 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles, I believe. So I just wanted to try and knit with a little bit smaller needles this time, and I think it works out fine. I did start this a couple of times because I wasn't sure how to do it with these two, if I was going to knit every other row with them, and I tried that in the beginning of this, because you start from the top and knit down. So you start with this lace right away, or it's a very short ribbing on the top, and then you start the lace. And it didn't look really good where I was changing, because you change yarn here in this whole area, holy area here. So it didn't look really nice. I changed every other row, so I decided just to knit with one of them, the lightest one, on the lace, and try to just have the other one coming in right after the bust. And I've just started with that here, but I've just started doing every other row, and I think maybe I should have done a fade instead. I'm not sure you can see it, but maybe I should rip that back and do like a fade instead, that it will be too sharp of a change. I'm not sure. I have to think about that, but now I'm going to try it on just to see that it's okay on. I think it will be. I've put it on some try-on tubing, and I will try it on. And I have to decide if I'm going to rip back or not. I really am not sure. Maybe not. We'll see. So that's my last whip for now. It's time to do a summary for June to see if I have knitted up more than I have bought. We'll see. June was a really yarn heavy month. I was on a festival, so there was a lot of yarn coming home with me. I did knit up 804 grams in June, which is not so much for me, but there was a lot of small projects. But I acquired 3,775 grams of yarn. That's a bit, but I've been knitting up a lot more than I have acquired this year. So even though I acquired a lot of yarn in June, I'm still on the negative side. So I have knitted up more than I have used. So now I am on minus I wanted to say it in Norwegian. I'm on minus 1,346.1 grams. So still on the negative side, still more yarn out than in, and I'm happy about that. We'll see how it goes. I am going to Denmark on a vacation, and I know that there are yarn stores in Denmark, and I believe I have to visit some of them. So we'll see how this will turn out. But yeah, so far so good. I have no yarn joy this episode, no yarn acquired since last time. But of course there are many plans. I'm itching to cast on new things all the time. I get so inspired by watching others' podcasts and Instagram and everything. So I have a lot of things boiling in my head that I really want to cast on. But I'm trying to contain myself trying to finish some stuff and before I cast on new things. It's not easy, no, but I'm sure you know how it is. But I have a plan to rip out some of my sweaters that I have knitted before that I never use, and use the yarn again. Just soak it and let it dry to get out all of the crinkles, and knit something new with yarn, hopefully into something that I will wear. Because it's so boring and not really inspiring to have a lot of sweaters in my closet that I never use, because it's beautiful yarn and I want to repurpose it and use it for something else. So that is a plan. Maybe not for the summer, but maybe for the fall. We'll see. And maybe I will take you along with me while I rip out some of those sweaters and maybe make it into a little vloggy kind of thing. We'll see. So that is a plan that I hope that I will get into life. That's not how you say it, but anyway. Yes, before I leave you, I want to recommend a new podcast to you. It's Coffee Knits with Sarah. She has 2 episodes out, I think. And I'm so happy that YouTube suggested this podcast to me. And when it says coffee and it says knits, I am there. Because I love coffee, I love knitting. So it's the perfect podcast title, if you ask me. Or podcast name. So Sarah, she's a very wonderful person. She has the most calm personality, which I love. It's just really nice to spend some knitting time with her and see all the beautiful knits she's working on. So I highly recommend that you take a look on her podcast. I will link it below. Coffee Knits with Sarah. Highly recommend. Okay, I hope that you are all doing good, that you are working on something fun. Some places there is summer, some places there is winter, some places there is something supposed to be summer, like here. I mean, we have to talk about the weather. The weather here is so frustrating. I think it has issues because suddenly there is sun and then it's pouring rain. And then there is some sun, and then it's pouring rain, and then it's lightning, and then it's thunder, and then it's just so frustrating. I am just dreaming of some warmth and some summer and some sun. Yesterday we had sun all day, and we had 19 degrees Celsius, which is amazing. I wish it was a little bit warmer, but I take what I can get. But today it's pouring rain again, which is perfect knitting weather, at least. Yeah. And podcast weather. That's nice. But I hope that you're having a good time, whatever weather you have, and that you are doing well. I will see you in a couple of weeks and hopefully cast on something new. I really want to do that. So I just have to see what should I choose? I don't know. There are so many things to choose between, which is fun. Yes, but I will stop ramble and I will just say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the beautiful comments, all the likes, all of you who are subscribing. If you're not already subscribing, but you like to spend time with me while I chat about my knitting, I would love if you would subscribe. And until next time, take care, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye, guys!